To live your good life, feed your mind every day. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment coach, trainer, and author. Well, why is it that we got to pay attention to feeding our mind every day? Well, our mind is really the most powerful attribute of us as a human being, particularly our conscious mind. See, our conscious mind, when we take charge of it and use it in the way that we can and the power that it is, then it's the thing that will actually program our subconscious mind, right? But when we don't know that growing up, then what happens is we get those faulty beliefs and we're not intentional with our thoughts. So it's kind of like the subconscious mind is the master energy, but it's only because we don't understand and learn how to intentionally and consciously use our conscious mind to choose those thoughts that feel good. But as soon as we do that, then the conscious mind is really the master of the show. And from this, we see that as we're projecting, right, our beliefs will come from our conscious thoughts. And if we choose them, then our beliefs will be in alignment. And if we're not choosing them, then our thoughts will not be in alignment. And our world is going to be the movie that we don't really like. It's going to be a low vibration movie, and we don't want a low vibration movie. So the way we get a high vibration movie is we got to start now to choose our thoughts in the way that feel good to us. And as we do that, we're going to do a good feeling thought does three really important things. What it does is it replaces the immediate low vibration negative feeling thought in a way that's authentic, so that you authentically feel positive emotion, not just running over it or painting over it or any of that kind of thing. You're authentically looking at that negative feeling thought and you're deconstructing it as I teach, which then completely neutralizes it in the moment, and then you reconstruct, and then you're left with a good feeling thought, an authentic high vibration good feeling thought. No denial of negative energy or any of that. You're not glazing over anything. You're facing it right on, and you're deconstructing it, reconstructing. So that's one thing that it does. The other thing it does is, in the process of doing that, it actually starts to repattern your subconscious beliefs that are faulty. So it does a little bit of that. And then it's broadcasting to the law of attraction, so you'll get some immediate feedback from that. But remember, your subconscious beliefs are broadcasting at the same time. So if you're going along your day in a good feeling way and something shows up kind of out of the blue that doesn't feel good, and you say, well, what the heck's going on? This is what the heck is going on. You've been using your conscious mind in a good feeling way, and your subconscious mind still has some momentum of faulty beliefs, so they're going to inject in there. But when they do, right, that's your opportunity to replace them, to do more deactivation. Don't be bothered by that. That's just the way momentum works. Just acknowledge it and look at what it's saying to you that doesn't feel good and deconstruct that, right? So that's why it's so important to feed your mind every day, because at this juncture in humanity, we've just been living with a lot of faulty beliefs for a very, very long time. So we're going to be doing this deconstruction for a while to get our consciousness back in alignment. And so, one thing I see is I work with people, and they make a big change in the way that they're thinking and feeling, and they can see the results starting to flow differently in their life. And then it's like, oh, okay, it's time. You've learned, you've been the student, you've learned, so now go out and live your life in that way. And then they kind of get away and get a little bit sloppy, not really giving good attention to feeding their mind every day with these good feeling thoughts. And what happens is that momentum, it's not totally gone, and it starts to get some momentum, and it starts to come back, and then I get the call, and it's okay, I need some help to get this back in order again, right? So it's great. I love to see people go off once they learn how this all works and live their life the way they want to live it, and in all the ways that are meaningful to them. But you got to understand, you got to keep this going. You can't just stop thinking about what you're thinking about, because it's going to take some time for those faulty beliefs to be completely deactivated. And if you don't get them completely deactivated, they will just flare up just like a fire that's not completely put out. So that is that's why you want to feed your mind every day. Now let's look at a little bit more in detail. You see, if we're not feeding our mind, then we're not being intentional with our mind, then our faulty beliefs are feeding in to influence our thought energy, right? And so, we're going to be in that cycle of those kind of old feeling thoughts, which are things like, that's expensive. See, that's a faulty belief. That's a negative feeling thought. I'm stuck. Coming from a faulty belief, negative feeling thought. This is hard. Just the way life is. Life is meant to be a struggle. See, these are all negative feeling thoughts from faulty beliefs. No pain, no gain. The rich get richer. I ruined my life. I can't make up my mind. These are all coming from low vibration thoughts from faulty beliefs. And there is no good way out of this. That's incurable. It's their fault. Okay, these are all statements, and there could be pages of these, but I just wanted to give you an example of things that people say, not even really aware. A lot of people are not even aware that they say them, thinking that, well, that's just the way life is. So they get the negative emotion, and they feel it, and they just live in that cycle of that kind of energy, and it keeps manifesting, and they keep reacting to it is a better word, reacting to it like that. And nothing changes. So this is what changes when you become aware of how this all works, and you hear those thoughts and you feel that negative emotion. You say, just wait. And you're going to choose a better feeling thought. You're going to go into that deconstruction, reconstruction, and you're going to end up with a better feeling thought. You're going to have a script that's written out, and you practice so that any of those triggers, any of those negative feeling thoughts, you're ready for them. And you're intentionally feeding your mind. And as you do, it gets easier. The faulty beliefs start to lose some momentum. Those things don't come. When they come, those thoughts, you just cast them off. You just discard them. They're not meaning anything to you. But you got to keep going. And make sure that it really is all deactivated. And so that's why we want to feed your mind every day. And when you do, then that gives you your good life, because you eventually turn all your thoughts, right? They just default pattern to good feeling. Your beliefs are all in natural alignment. And so that's your good life. It's just high vibration energy then broadcast from every angle to the law of attraction. That's that high vibration energy, those good feeling thoughts. None in particular, nothing specific, but just about your past, your dreams, your relationships, your wealth, your everything, no matter what state that it's in, you know how to find a good feeling thought about it, which then brings everything into the state where you want it to be. And that's your naturally flowing life of joyous expansion. So you want to, that's again, I'm going to repeat that. You got to feed your mind every day. And this also factors into that statement that I make, and I've been making it a lot lately. Feel resistance, find relief. Feel resistance, find relief, because when you do that, you let your vibration up. You see your vibration's high, and it's only that we pull it down. We don't got to push it up. We just got to let go of the negative feeling thoughts that keep it pinned down. We let go of those, it just springs right back up. So when you feed your mind every day with good feeling thoughts, that means you're releasing those thoughts that don't feel good, and up goes your vibration, just as a natural thing. So we want to think in terms of thought care, thought exercise, thought therapy, thought diet, thought choice. We want to get really, really tuned into this whole idea of thought, because thought, again, is running your life. It's a projector. Your thoughts are like projectors, so your beliefs are automatic thoughts, remember. They're just thoughts that you thought so many times that now they have their own momentum, and they just keep broadcasting. So that's that projector. So as we straighten out our energy, and we're in alignment with who we are and how life works and what we want, and then we're going to have those kinds of thoughts that project out in a way that our life flows in the high vibration ways that we want, the experiences and the things. So again, feed your mind every day. You don't want to get lazy or take off time or say, I got it and I'm good, and just get lazy and sloppy with your mind. You want to pay attention to negative emotion. When you got negative emotion present, that means you've slipped out of alignment. You got to bring that back in. And as often as it takes, and as you do it more and more, it will slow down, but you still want to pay attention. You don't want to get into a conversation. Let's say you've been going on a good streak, You're feeling good, things are working out, and all of a sudden somebody shows up that you haven't seen for a while from your past, and you start talking about old times, and you find yourself in some of that conversation that's low vibration. See, you got to catch that. You don't want to go there. If you observe the things around you, there's lots of things that can draw you back in to those old faulty beliefs. So you got to really be aware of that, and you want to keep that going so that you're really intentionally. It's just like your diet, your food. You're taking care. I want to put stuff in my body that feels good, that nourishes me, that makes me light, that makes me energetic. And that's all going to be, when you're high vibration, that's all going to happen much easier for you. But without even realizing the effect of vibration, people do think in terms of diet, and that the food is going to be the thing that really keeps them going in a good way. And again, high vibration will inspire that to go in a good way. You don't have to pay so much attention to that. But just as you do pay attention to a food diet, you want to pay attention to your thought diet. You want to make that, what am I putting in my mind? What am I putting in my mind? Is it feeling good? Is it serving me? Right? So just to carry on, why we want to do that. See, when we were growing up, remember, we had people talking at us, and they didn't realize they were talking vibration to us at the same time they were talking words at us. And a lot of that stuff was low vibration. And we just gradually picked it up. Now our subconscious was empty coming in, no real beliefs going on in there, just the knowing of life. And as we heard all that stuff, boom, we ended up with faulty beliefs, right? So that's why we're in the boat that we're in with how life is right now. We're working still with those beliefs that we picked up as children. They're still hanging around, and they're broadcasting to the law of attraction, and they're wanting to influence our thought energy. Now, let me just say, they have momentum. They don't have a mind of their own that they're intentionally going at you and forcing you to think thoughts that don't feel good. It's just an energy momentum effect, right? It's just on an automatic cycle of broadcast. So this is why we want to feed our mind every day. We don't want to take any rest or break from that, no more than, if you, and many times people say to me, I've been on vacation. I kind of just let myself go. I didn't exercise. I've been eating everything. I feel terrible. Well, if you think you feel terrible by doing that for a week, you just go through your life and you know it. If you've been thinking a lot of negative feeling thoughts and you're just going through that day after day, month after month, that's a rodeo ride extraordinaire. So, and then when you get back on your exercise plan and your eating, it comes back to the way you do it, and then you feel so much better. Now, you want to take that up a notch to your mind, because ultimately it is our mind that is the master of our life. And our body will go where our mind goes. So the more in alignment and in shape our mind is, then it will be easier and more fluent and automatic that we do exercise and eat in ways that are in alignment as well. But I just wanted to use that example about how quickly we can feel out of sorts by just affecting our diet and our exercise. Well, you can imagine affecting your thought energy, the thing that is doing all this projecting, right? And we want to keep that in tip-top shape. Now, we've normalized a lot of negative emotion, and so we go along thinking thoughts like I mentioned here, and it just feels like, well, that's just the natural thing. So the first part of all of this that I teach is awareness that, no, you don't want to do that. It's kind of like going to McDonald's every day. That's just not going to work out good for you at all. You know that. Or any fast food, far as that goes, any food that is high in different things and you're out of alignment with it, it's just, no, that's just not going to work. So, it's the same kind of thing if we're just putting in low vibration energy into our mind, choosing those thoughts, letting them come through and not doing anything about them, but just flowing with them. That is the rodeo ride life. That's the train wreck life. And you don't want to be there. You want your good life. You want to live your good life. So if you want to do that, then you got to feed your mind every day with the good feeling thought energy, the thoughts that are serving you, the thoughts that are in alignment, the thoughts that tell you the truth about who you are and how good life is and how your desire is born and how it turns into physical things and how you have complete control over that through your thought energy. You want to be totally in alignment, totally in tune, no matter what shows up in your day. You're able to process it in a way that serves you, that feels good. You've got a good perspective. You're having positive aspects. You're thinking about appreciation and gratitude. You're liking yourself. You're understanding others as your mirror. See, this is all the good high vibration thought energy that you always want to be bringing into your mind and overriding any of those thoughts that don't feel good and doing the displacement process on those faulty beliefs in your subconscious mind. Get this all nicely back into alignment and right. And now look at this. That just goes away. And look at all the energy going to the law of attraction, all that nice, lovely, high vibration energy out of your beliefs, out of your conscious mind. And your life's going to flow like you're on a magic carpet, because that's just the way vibration is. High vibrations like a magic wand. Things just are orchestrated for you. The creative process shows you, and they just start showing up, and you just wonder, the amazing aspect of life when high vibration is delivering to you through the law of attraction in your inner being. It really does feel like magic. It seems like magic for things to be so easy and fluent and easy flowing. So that's how you get there. That's how you get to your good feeling life. The one that you want is you got to feed your mind. That's the key to it all, feeding your mind. Okay, that's the video for today. Thanks for listening in. If you have any comments, leave them on the post and enjoy your day.